Have you ever feel lonely, unwanted, lost, and most of all, ignored? I know the feeling, my friend. But let's quit to the drama and let's get into the video. Hello friends, my name is Jimkin G. Vanilla Jr., a second year student taking up the Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering from Cebu Institute of Technology. In this video, I am about to share to you something related to C-sharp programming. It is all about exception handling. So as what you have noticed in our intro recently, have you ever feel lonely, unwanted? So those words may fit the description of exception. Exception by definition is a problem that arises during the execution of a program. C-sharp exceptions is an error that as a response for an exceptional circumstance that arises during or while the program is running. One instance of that is the attempt for a number to be divided to 0. If you consider that 1 in our math laws, it will result to infinity. But C-sharp programming doesn't support infinity. And that results to exceptions. Maybe you might have a hard time thinking about it, but I will help you. Just try to imagine a scenario in which there is a castle and a community. The community has to put goods such as food and armory for the knights in preparation for the winter. They have to work fast because the winter is coming. But suddenly there is a man stood there and wanted to put a nuclear waste inside the castle. There was the stop to the relay of storing the goods inside the castle because the castle does not fit, nor nuclear waste is not good for the castle because nuclear waste is somehow deadly for the community living inside the castle. As a result, there was a problem. Nuclear waste is a form of an exception in that scenario because it stimulates an error to the system that halts the flow of the system, of course. In order to resolve that one, what we need are knights. The knight secures at the same time serve as immigration that ask what goods that a person wants to store inside of the castle. And if we try to incorporate that one in C# programming, foods or goods and armory for the knight serves as parameters needed for our program. Only those two are allowed for our program, and any deviant objects or any deviant values that would like to enter or to be stored in our memory for our program will be eradicated at the same time. The user will be notified through the use of exception handling. So for another example, try to imagine yourself as an employee of a certain company and your manager gave you a certain task, and that is to accept the Apple deliveries from two separate Apple suppliers within that day because they will gonna arrive soon as your manager will gonna go for his or her errands. There's a certain instruction from your manager that only accept red apples because your manager filed a complaint from the previous Apple delivery because there are some deviant objects mixed in the Apple delivery from one of the two Apple suppliers. The Apple suppliers did arrive soon, and you found out that one of the Apple suppliers has a green apple. This violates the main instruction from your manager. So what you're gonna do? Of course, as an employee, you should follow the instruction what is given to you. So you only accept the red apples, not the green ones. You will follow the instruction what is given to you from your manager. You may request for help from the apple supplier for the sorting of red apples to the green apples because you only accept the red apples. Or you will gonna request for another apple delivery that has the consistent red apples on it. Hello guys, welcome again to my computer in which I preloaded a simple program for you. So allow me to explain what is this program all about. So the program would like to ask the user on how many integers or how many arrays that he wants that the user wants. And later on, the program will will ask what are the values to be stored in a specific array to iteration or the for loops. And right after that, the program the will print the values inside of the array. Let's try to run it. So enter number of integers to be stored in an array. So I want it to be 5, and input integer. Integer number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So there you have it. The program already displayed the integers. You can see that I initiated a data variable int rep that serves as a container for how many integers that the user wants. Okay, how many integers to be stored? We need 5. So 1, 2, then accidentally, and yeah, I'm gonna put a or a letter. So it will gonna show a dialog box containing system.format exception. That is an exception that with the message input string was not in correct format. Let's try another example on which we can be able to stimulate an exception. Let's try to have it with the with the decimal number. So 3.2. So there you have it again, a format exception. So our program previously just keeps on throwing exceptions or errors as we try to break it, right? So that means that our program is somehow fragile and having low resistance to exceptions. So one way to resolve that thing, in order for us to achieve the much durable kind of program, we need to handle the exceptions by exception handling. So the goal now, my friends, is for us handle the exceptions being imposed by our program. The exceptions is a form of error. Then we need to eradicate the error. The way we eradicate the error, the exemption, is by observing the right syntax for our exception handling. I will now be introducing to you the try and catch blocks. So the try blocks is an area on which we can be able to place the risky or having the potential to break the program itself. For example, this part here. Why I say this is risky? It is because it is a user input, and the user has the freedom to any kind of values without considering the right values that needs to be input for the catch block. If indeed the codes being placed inside of the curly brackets of the try block, then it will be passed or thrown into the catch block. I will be using a loop statement that allows me to keep on iterate despite having an exception, because the nature of our program is loops. So just like in the previous examples, we cannot be able to find or to do or maximize the functionality of the program, because once there is an exception, there is an automatic halt of the process. I will just have to enclose the whole exception handling area inside of a do while loop statement. I have just talked about previously that I can be able to iterate despite having an exception. There is a last keyword that I will be putting in this one, and that is break. But one last thing, I want to have this one just to edit the statement in order for it to be more general. Okay. 1, 5, 3. So error, do not put letters or decimal numbers. So 4, 5. Okay. Okay, there you have it.